Hi, I'm recording this intro on this $2 voice recorder I got on AliExpress. That pretty much concludes the intro bit for this video. Let's move on to the actual video. I recently asked you, the viewers of this wonderful content, to send in some questions, music related or not, and I'm gonna pick out my favorites. This is a very original YouTube format. I'm actually the first person to do this, little known fact. So let's go. Unironic Dad Jokes asks, amps that you love and want to try, or amps that you've tried but hate? Alright, I love the PRS Archon 50, it's absolutely amazing amp, but each time I'd saved up enough money for one, I ended up buying a Strat instead, as you do. As for popular amps that I dislike, I'd say Mesa rectifiers, dual, triple, I don't care. They're just the opposite of like a tight tone. They sound flabby, they sound like cooked spaghetti, but so does anything that Mesa makes, it's just not my style. Bruno inquires, quick tip to make the guitar sit in the mix. Dude, I don't know. I've never mixed anything in my life. I'm not a mix engineer. Go ask Glenn Fricker. X_0100111_X. That really slides off the tongue, doesn't it? Wants to know if I do any work outside of YouTube. Not currently. As it happens, I've just dropped out of high school and I'm looking for a paid apprenticeship. So not currently as of recording this video, but actually maybe by the time that you see it, because I'm recording this like 3-4 weeks in advance. Roy Dad Boy, that's the guy who bought the guitar on eBay that I smashed to shit in the parking lot. Wants to know if I have any original music out there or in the works at all. Dude, I don't sleep at night. Because all I do is make these videos. I'm recording this 4 weeks in advance, right? All I do is make these videos and play guitar, right? I don't have time to make original music. I'm also not that creative. I don't know, maybe someday. But I'm not in a band or anything, so it'd have to be like a solo project. And no one's gonna listen to a solo guitar project anyway. I'd rather just focus on this. Meshuggah Fanboy wants to know if I'd ever consider getting a 7-string. What a surprising question from someone with such a user. I just realized one of two things. It would either have to be that Sawtooth Michelangelo Badio signature. I'll get that and review it someday because I've brought it up on the channel like a dozen times at this point. Or it would have to be a Strat, not necessarily a Fender. I know they don't make stock 7-strings, but it would have to be Strat shaped and have single coil pickups. Alright, rather topical one. Why do you love Stratocasters so much? Alright, I get this question a lot, and I don't know why I love them so much. You put single coils in another guitar, it won't sound like this. There's just something about a Strat that feels almost like it's alive. I know that sounds stupid, but a Strat isn't like a Gibson, you know? It's, first of all, it can take a beating, and second of all, it's not like a clunky rock and roll guitar, you know? I don't know, it's much easier to handle. I remember Steve Vai saying the reason he doesn't play Strats is because you kind of have to fight it, it's not as smooth, and I agree with that, but I don't view that as a negative thing at all. I kind of like having some resistance from my guitar. I've played the old Fender Hartfield like Super Strats from Japan from the 80s, but they're almost too smooth and buttery. I know that there's a point of diminishing returns as far as resistance from your guitar goes, but I find that a little bit of it can actually be quite helpful. George asks, what are some good tips for adding speed to your solos, licks, etc.? I mean, when I occasionally write something, and I don't write music in that sense, but I do write licks and solos and stuff, my advice is to take it slow at first. Don't write your music up to speed. Especially if we're talking about metal music, it's much easier for your brain to keep up with something and come up with stuff when it's not at 200 BPM. Also today, as in the day that I'm recording this, not the day it goes up, again this is being recorded weeks in advance, KDH uploaded a QnA video as well, where he basically talked about how to build up speed while playing, because speed is basically just based on muscle memory. Mr. Goldbar, thoughts on HSS Strats? I have no problem with them. I have no problem with humbuckers. I clearly do have humbucker equipped guitars, but also if I want humbuckers, I'm probably not going to buy a Fender, or at least not a Strat. JMC wants to know if KDH and I have planned a collab video. Okay, A, yes we have. We're currently working on doing some stuff together, and B, that QnA video he uploaded today that I mentioned earlier, I actually have a small cameo in that video, so go check it out if you haven't seen that yet. I know it's a bit old by the time you're seeing this, but I'm sure not all of you have watched it. But you should. Wants to know, Harley Bentons are trash. Why do people buy them? You're full of shit. Hold on. This is my Harley Benton jazz bass copy, and as humongous as it is a fantastic instrument as is. I do plan on upgrading this thing entirely for a video to make it the only bass guitar I'll ever need, but it's already absolutely fantastic. The reason some people think Harley Bentons suck guitars from this era. This is an old Harley Benton Rock Series guitar, back when they still had this logo on the headstocks and everything. And yes, these did absolutely suck, to the point where I actually had to block off this not double locking Floyd Rose tremolo knockoff because it refused to stay in tune. But modern Harley Benton guitars are some of the greatest value you can get. Now of course, even the highest end of Harley Benton is nothing compared to a custom shop Kiesel, but look at it this way. I would absolutely 100% say that the highest end of Harley Benton is at least 40-50% as good as a low-end Kiesel, and the highest end Harley Benton guitar, as far as I know, is about a third of the price of the lowest spec Kiesel custom guitar you can order. Chef Banjo wants to know where I'm from. I'm from Germany. I've lived in Germany most of my life. I left very briefly for 2 years, came back, been here ever since, and I'm not leaving. I know the accent is very contradictory, but what do you want from me? You want me to talk to you like this? No one wants to hear that. How good are you at piano? I'm not. I don't play piano. The reason they're asking this is probably because I had a piano as a set piece here for like half a year. Said piano is now over there collecting dust with my Nicolas Cage pillow and all the stuff I'm not currently using. I do, however, not play the piano, which is part of the reason I removed it from the set, but once I, say, start adding programmed drums to my videos, this does have a MIDI output, so I could use it as a MIDI keyboard. Welcome back. Susan wants to know what string gauges I use. I use 10 to 46 strings exclusively. I used Ernie Ball for about 4 years, and then I switched to Fender because they're just better in every way. But yes, 10s. I'm an E-flat standard Yngwie shred boy, so this is perfect. Wait, actually, Yngwie doesn't use, wait, Yngwie's signature, wow, hold on. Fender YJM strings. Damn, 8 to 46. Alright, never mind then. Okay, correction, Yngwie uses 8 to 46 strings. He plays mainly in E-flat standard as well, sometimes in E standard, and very occasionally in drop C sharp. Gringo Vataloco asks, what's a guitar scale that every guitar player should know? That's a great question, and the answer is very simple. My favorite scale of all time, the Indian pentatonic scale. Beautiful, isn't it? So, thus concludes the questions for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. You can watch my most recent video somewhere up here. You can sub somewhere down there if you feel like it. I'd be honored. On my social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, a link in the description. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. I'll see you next week.